June 4, 1943, Norfolk Naval Base, Virginia. Oberleutnant Herman Bucker gripped the ship's railing, his legs unsteady after 14 days crossing the Atlantic. As he descended the gangplank, the scene before him unraveled 3 years of relentless Nazi propaganda. American dockworkers, black and white, laboring side by side, uprighted machinery of such scale it seemed transplanted from the next century. Women in coveralls commanded towering cranes. Children hawked newspapers at the gates. No one flinched at the sight of enemy uniforms. "Die Spinnen, die Amerikaner," he whispered to the comrade behind him. "The Americans are crazy." Bucker would later document this disorienting arrival in his memoir. Behind barbed wire, he was among the first 2,500 veterans of Rommel's Afrika Korps to step onto American soil, the vanguard of what would swell to 425,000 German prisoners held in the United States. The processing began with what Bucker termed the first impossibility. American officers, fluent in German, meticulously read Geneva Convention rights to their captives. According to International Red Cross records from June 1943, Jewish American personnel distributed care packages and offered kosher meals to any Jewish prisoners, a gesture several Wehrmacht soldiers initially mistook for mockery. The medical examinations further defied logic. Wounded Germans received penicillin, a miracle drug scarce in their own field hospitals, with the same priority as American GIs. Swiss Red Cross Inspector Guy Metro noted in his July 1943 report that the medical care equaled or surpassed that given to U.S. military personnel. Their journey to the interior camps aboard passenger trains, not sealed boxcars, deepened the cognitive dissonance. The trains made no effort to conceal its human cargo, stopping at stations where civilians gathered to watch. At Washington, D.C.'s Union Station, documented in station logs, German prisoners watched American families bid emotional, public farewells to soldiers. The trains rolled past factories with names displayed in massive letters, their parking lots filled with workers' cars, their production lines visible for any enemy to see. There were no blackouts, no camouflage, just a nation's industrial heart beating openly. Camp Hearne, Texas, their final destination, was a 720-acre complex designed to hold 4,800 men. It was not a prison camp as they understood it. Army Corps of Engineers records detail wooden barracks with electric lights, indoor plumbing, and individual beds with mattresses. Recreation halls were stocked with ping-pong tables and musical instruments. The camp commandant, Lieutenant Colonel Cecil Pyle, addressed them in German and announced they would largely govern themselves, electing spokesmen and organizing their own activities, a concept of self-rule for prisoners that seemed either dangerously naive or brilliantly subversive. The most profound shocks, however, came from their interactions with the world outside the wire. By late 1943, severe labor shortages led to prisoner work details on farms and in non-military industries. At the King Rancher domain, larger than Rhode Island, they worked alongside Mexican-American vaqueros and black farmhands. They saw a single combine harvester accomplish what would require dozens of workers in Europe. They witnessed farmers openly criticizing President Roosevelt and government policies without a trace of fear, a defiance that would mean certain death in the Reich. The American home front was a gallery of ideological contradictions. Prisoners saw African-American medical technicians treating white German officers, a violation of the racial laws they had been taught were natural. They saw women driving trucks, supervising male workers, and even flying military aircraft from nearby Bryan Army Airfield as part of the Women Air Force Service Pilots program. At Christmas in 1944, the entire town of Hearne mobilized to give enemy prisoners a celebration. Local churches donated thousands of gift packages. The American Legion Post, comprised of World War I veterans, gave cigarettes and candy. The cognitive dissonance of being shown kindness by those whose sons they had tried to kill shattered ideological certainties. A sophisticated, secret re-education program operated under the guise of voluntary education. Declassified records from the Provost Marshal General's office reveal a special projects division that stocked camp libraries with books banned in Nazi Germany, including works by Jewish authors. Professors from Sam Houston State Teachers College offered correspondence courses. The strategy was subtle exposure, not forceful indoctrination. Prisoners were given access to American newspapers that criticized the war effort and radio broadcasts where comedians mocked generals. They witnessed the chaotic, vibrant spectacle of the 1944 presidential election, a democracy functioning robustly amid public discord, a direct refutation of the totalitarian model. The cumulative effect of this demonstration by reality was profound. Post-war surveys by American occupation authorities found that 74% of returned POWs held favorable views of American democracy. Many became instrumental in rebuilding West Germany. 48 would serve in the Bundestag, and hundreds more as mayors, teachers, and business leaders, applying the methods they had witnessed. They returned not as conquered enemies, but as witnesses to a different future. The true American victory in these camps was not measured in captives taken, but in minds changed. The German POWs came expecting a weak, decadent society. Instead, they found a resilient nation whose confidence was expressed, not in brutality, but in mercy. Their transformation stands as one of history's most successful ideological conversions, achieved not by propaganda, but by the simple, overwhelming power of a functioning, free society going about its daily life. The most destructive weapon turned against the Nazi regime was not a bomb, but a glimpse of a normal American day.